Dzień dobry, witam serdecznie Państwa na kolejnym wydarzeniu organizowanym przez Akademię Kultury Społecznej i Medialnej w Toruniu, Regionalny Ośrodek Debaty Międzynarodowej w Toruniu oraz Biuro Współpracy Międzyuczelnianej i Międzynarodowej realizującej program Erasmus+. Mamy dzisiaj specjalnego gościa, który nie jest z Polski, nie mówi w języku polskim, dlatego dla dobra całego nagrania w tym momencie przejdę na język angielski. So, thank you very much that you are here together with us, because today we have a special guest from the United States, but mainly through her affiliation from Mexico. Our special guest represents a partner in which we collaborate during the last few years. So I present Stefani Tomek. Thank you that you are here with us.
My pleasure. Thank you very much for the invitation. I am very pleased to be here representing Mexico and the United States, two in one, and I appreciate the invitation very much.
Thank you very much. So I will start with the short presentation of you. So Stefani Agata Tomek is a full-time professor at Universidad Panamericana, Campus Aguascalientes in Mexico.
Yes.
She has lived in Mexico for 11 years, where she has given a variety of courses in international business, communication, and English as a foreign language. Being the coordinator for international affairs allows her to focus on the promotion of Aguascalientes to international students and foreign investors. Stefani spent several years working with the Global Assessment Certificate Program in collaboration with the ACT organization and currently coordinates the TEFL exam for all university students. Her diverse background started with graduating from culinary school at Indiana University of Pennsylvania, returning for her business administration degree, and now holds a Master of International Business Management from the University of Barcelona. She is passionate about Mexico and the promotion of its possibilities on an international level.
I am. I love Mexico.
You love Mexico?
Yes, I do love Mexico.
American girl in Mexico.
Yes.
How it's possible?
It's kind of backwards, and that's what most people think, is that most Mexicans are trying to go to the United States, and I'm the opposite. I want to be in Mexico. I love it. I think that it's a wonderful area, a wonderful culture, a fantastic place to live, and the people by far are fantastic. So friendly and welcoming, and they've opened their arms and their hearts to me, and it's now my home. Yes.
Sounds like good advertising of the holiday in Mexico.
It is fantastic. It's a wonderful place to visit.
Okay,
Yes.
let's focus on you. Is this your first visit here in Poland?
This is my first visit to Poland.
First time in Poland.
First time in Poland.
We are proud that you are here with us.
I am very proud to be here. Thank you again for the invitation.
I think everyone in Poland, when usually they met some foreigner person, asked, what did you know about Poland before you came to this country? What was your knowledge about this country, these people?
My knowledge about Poland basically came from my family background. So my family from the United States, my grandparents on both sides were Polish. And so I grew up with not so much as a lot of the customs, but a lot of the food. So that was my knowledge of the food. Halushki, klupski, all sorts of, pierogies, and that's what I grew up eating, and some Christmas traditions and other things like that. So that was basically my knowledge from Poland. That was the majority of my knowledge from Poland, was through the food.
Mm-hmm. I understand, thank you. Another question. Mexico. Can you a little describe this country?
Mexico is a culturally rich country that is very proud of everything that they have accomplished, individualistic way, and as well as a community. So the people are very proud of what they have, even if it's just a little bit or it is a lot. People have a lot of pride in what they have. And no matter how much or how little people have, they will always offer it to you, offer something to you. And for me, that is it's spectacular to know that there are people out there that really want to welcome you into their homes, and they always say mi casa su casa, and it is
We
really,
know that.
yes, it is literally, and they welcome you to your house. So it's not just something that you hear people say, they literally welcome you to their home, which is an honor to know that they're very proud of what they have. So that's me. That for Mexico, for me, that's Mexico.
Who lives in Mexico? What kind of the people? Or what kind of the ethnic groups?
Well, the Mexican people, what happens is basically two types of heritages. So there's a Spanish heritage that came from Spanish, and then the other part is from the natives from Mexico before the Spanish conquered Mexico. So they derive from two parts, and they're very culturally different. And as in most countries, the natives tend to live in their own areas off to the side, but they are integrated as well into society, and but a majority of Spanish backgrounds.
Okay. But you're from the United States.
Yes.
So English language is not a problem for you. Not
No.
Not at all. But in Mexico, I think English is not such common like in the United States, so you had to learn.
I did, but you know what? It actually took me quite a while. As you said, I've been there for 11 years, and I didn't have to use Spanish when I first moved there. I've actually just recently started speaking fluent Spanish because such a large percentage of the population speaks Spanish. So I would go even I would go for my groceries out into the market, and I would buy groceries, and I would try to speak in Spanish, and then somebody would answer me in English. Mm-hmm. And I'm like, why? What's going on? And everybody was so helpful to me that they wanted to speak English with me. So it was great that I didn't have to learn Spanish, but on the other side, it also wasn't, because it took me so long to learn Spanish. So a lot of people speak Spanish. Or a lot of people speak English in Mexico, so yeah, a huge percent of the population.
But you use both languages?
Yes.
Spanish and English?
Yes, Spanish and English, yes.
But if some persons use only one of this, no problems?
No problem, no. Now, I speak Spanish in my everyday life, and well, obviously in my job I use more English because I am responsible for speaking in English at the university and with students and interacting them, but when I'm interacting with professors or other businesses or from other universities from Spanish-speaking countries, then I use Spanish. Yes.
Mm-hmm. Okay, let's talk a little about the university which you represent.
Yes.
Universidad Panamericana, Campus Aguascalientes in Mexico.
Yes, it's a lot of words.
Yes, a lot.
It's a mouthful.
But it's very big and a very proud university. I was, yes. So I know what I'm talking about. So can you a little describe the university which you represent?
Absolutely. Universidad Panamericana, and there are 3 campuses, Mexico City, Guadalajara, and Aguascalientes. And it has about 30 years in Campus Aguascalientes, and we have about 1,500 students with a variety of faculties and schools. So we have the engineering faculty, the business faculty, we have law, pedagogy, child psychology, gastronomy, and I'm sure there's another one that I'm missing. I do apologize. But yes, so it's right in the center, in the heart of Mexico, right in the center. And we are an Opus Dei community school, so we are based around the Catholicism and the belief of social service. So the backbone of the university is service to others. So everyone that comes here or goes to Aguascalientes, to Panamericana, is responsible for doing some sort of social service to better the community and in turn bettering themselves during their education.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Okay, your university, which you represent, is located in Mexico. Mexico, of course, especially European, let's say, mass media, they are mainly concentrated about some problems, yes, which also exist in Mexico. Can you a little talk to us about the current situation in Mexico?
Yes, you are correct. Yes, and sadly, because the mass media highlights the negative aspects of Mexico, of course, and sadly to say, a lot of it is true. Okay, but it's also centralized, and it's in certain areas. Okay, so the city where I'm at, the campus in the university, is actually one of the top safest cities that's in the country. So I've never been personally affected in any way about any of the awful things that you hear on the news. Have I heard about them? Yes, of course, but Aguascalientes is kind of like a safe haven for a lot of the population, and we have about a million people, and it's not something that I have ever seen, I've ever experienced, I've never been, no, it's not a factor of my life at all in any way. Does it exist outside of Aguascalientes? I mean, even if you were to drive an hour north or to the south, yes, sadly, it does, those things do happen. But it's not a factor in the life of the university or my safety and personal security in any way.
For Polish tourists, it's safe.
It is absolutely
Without
safe.
any problems, you can
Absolutely
travel to
safe.
Aguascalientes to Mexico.
Yes, Aguascalientes is a very safe city, and I've always felt 100% at home there with zero risk.
Okay, my other question is about the aspect which is very important for the Polish people, which means, of course, our history. How look like this accurate for the Mexican people? Is history important for the people in Mexico? It has any influence into the creation of the Mexican self-identification, identity?
Absolutely. As I said previously about the culture, Mexicans are very culturally proud. It's a very culturally rich community, and it's really funny. It is fantastic to see the way that they celebrate their culture as far as the Independence Day and the other holidays that they have. And when you see people that you see every day in life, and then they're representing their country and their culture, they're proud. They're so happy, and so happy to expose the Mexican culture to outsiders. So they want to share how culturally proud that they are. Everything from going down to the tortillas, for example, corn. I mean, there are approximately over 20 different varieties of corn specific to Mexico, and that the Mexican culture began from corn production and all of their food. So all of the food is still created and made in the similar way that it was 200 years ago. So very proud people. They rely a lot on their culture and their history, and they try to integrate their history into their lives and to teach their children.
When I was in Aguascalientes, I remember that many times I've seen one of the Mexican artists who was born in Aguascalientes and created a very significant element of the, I think in this one, global culture, which means some skulls and skulls, I don't know, paints, it means posada.
Yes, Jose Guadalupe Posada, and he was a creator of the La Catrina. La Catrina is a woman's skeleton that has a very large hat decorated with flowers, and La Catrina, she has become a global icon, celebrating death, which is typically a sad, morbid event, because it is, but in Mexico it's more of a celebration, and the Catrina has become an idol of what Dia de los Muertos, Day of the Dead, has come to represent. So there are a lot of skulls. In the town where I am, there is a museum of death, and it is full of skulls, but it's more of a celebration of life and knowing how that person who has passed on and how they celebrated, and that's also a way that Mexican culture today has integrated their native past, because the Day of the Dead actually comes from the native Mexicans that live there, and they integrated it into their Catholicism.
Of course, according to the current situations in the European Union and in general in Europe, for example, the prism of the migrant crisis, of course it makes some, let's say, tensions between some countries. Yes. Mexico, of course, according to the situations between Mexico and the United States, also the prism of the, let's say, mass media is through the wall.
Yes, the wall.
That wall, that is this particular one wall. But my question will be more general.
Okay.
Mexico and neighbors. Okay. How look like the relations Mexican country with the neighbors?
You know, it's a common belief that all Mexicans want to migrate to the United States. And that's what the common belief is, but it's not true. It is definitely not true. There is a certain percentage of the population that wants to migrate to the United States, And typically those is the percentage that is not well educated and they need to better their life because of the lack of education. They need to get a better job. And in Mexico, it's just not as easy for them to get a job. But actually the migrants that are coming, because they're traveling through Mexico, most people think that they're Mexicans, but they're not. Most of them are coming from Central America and South America. So it's I mean, Colombians, Hondurans, Ecuadorians, and they're traveling and using Mexico as a means of transportation to get to the other side. The relations between Mexico and the United States, yes, there are tensions because of this, but I believe that the Mexican government and the US government are trying to work on those relations and implementing different rules, factors, regulations in order to actually about extraditing immigrants and a lot of different things that are going on. But the wall is a very controversial topic on
yes.
both sides of the border, as you know, and I don't know if there's a solution either way.
No, understand. We mentioned about the relationship between Mexico and neighbors, but we have also asked you about the relations between Mexico and Poland.
Yes.
Do you know how it looks like?
As far as I know, there isn't very much of a relationship there. No, actually, I'm not sure what it looks like because, I mean, they are literally on the other side of the world from each other. But as far as a very common relationship, no, unfortunately, unaware of strong ties between the two countries.
Yes, we are far away. We don't have, let's say, common history and common problems.
Exactly.
But when I was in Mexico, I had so many good, let's say, phrases and words about Poland, Polish people, Polish, of course, Pope, who was in the past.
Yes.
So I think we know something about each other. Maybe through Erasmus Plus and other program of mobilities, of exchange, this links between our countries will be bigger in the future.
Yes, I hope so. I mean, that's the whole purpose of my trip here, is to strengthen the ties and the links between the two of us and encourage Polish people to come to Mexico and not be scared. It's very important, and I'm in a unique situation because I'm an American living in Mexico, and being a foreigner, I have a different perspective of the country. And I look at it through different eyes as from the people that live there. So for me, it's fabulous. Really, I mean, I cannot say enough positive things about Mexico and Aguascalientes specifically, and I really want to express that it is a wonderful place to visit, it's a wonderful place to live, and to not be scared to come to Mexico. And that's the biggest purpose of my trip, is that people understand that.
And my one last question is about the University of Social and Media Culture in Toruń. You had an opportunity to be here during this time, so what is your opinion about this university?
My opinion about this university so far is fantastic. Everybody that I've spoken to, that I walked by in the halls, we've chatted and greeted me warmly. It is a very religious university, as seen by walking through the halls and seeing the different pictures and the religious figures that are around, which makes me kind of feel at home. And at UP, the Panamericana, because we both have those similar ideas. And the campus is gorgeous. The campus here is beautiful. It's breathtaking with the giant chestnut trees that are outside, and the river floating by, and the leaves are changing, and it's very fresh and open. And the students have so far have been fabulous to me. They've treated me very well.
Thank you very much. And thank you that you are here together with us.
My pleasure. Thank you very much.
Dziękuję bardzo Państwu za wysłuchanie naszego dzisiejszego wykładu w formie debaty, w takiej oto formie, i zapraszamy na kolejne wydarzenia organizowane przez Akademię Kultury Społecznej i Medialnej w Toruniu, Regionalny Ośrodek Debaty Międzynarodowej w Toruniu oraz Biuro Współpracy Międzyuczelnianej i Międzynarodowej realizującej program Erasmus+. A naszemu gościowi jeszcze raz powiem dziękuję. Thank you very much.
My pleasure. Thank you, Christian.
Thank you.